Hey there, beautiful family. Gemma here. I am checking in after coming right through the other side of a massive portal of divine remembering, of awakening that I have just been intensely immersed in over the last week as I made a sacred pilgrimage, a journey through the north of Peru in an area called Ancash, beginning in the portal of Chavin and then to a place called Hatun Machai, or this beautiful rock forest that's halfway between Chavin and Huaraz, and then ending at the amazing Apu of Huascaran in the north, which was a very, very powerful and special, very magical journey for me, as this Apu has been one of my main companions and guides for almost 10 years. And this was the first time that I had met this maestro in the flesh. So I'm chiming in here because I'm sharing about these beautiful experiences, some of the very, very precious moments that occurred for me in my Instagram feed. And it's always delicate for me to be sharing in that way because what I'm receiving is really only for me. I'm always being told and guided by the medicine and by the masters that I meet in these places that what is coming through is for me, yet it belongs to everyone. The wisdom that comes through and what I'm shown, while it might be relatable to what happens or what is happening or what is transpiring for me in my own personal path and journey and life, there is also a lot of gold in there, a lot of guidance in there that is absolutely universal and very, very relevant and very, very applicable for the times that we're in. So I wanted to share with you some of the common themes and messages that were received as I moved through those journeys and share them with you, hopefully as a source of inspiration for you to understand a little bit about how close we really are to, well, I could say to popping through the veil to the other side. You know, when I say the other side, I mean returning to the source of our divinity. We have been in a preparation process for such a long time. If you're watching this, then so have you. You know, there's a lot of people on the planet that still are very much trapped in the old matrix or in the old way of doing things, and we might have a tendency, you know, when we're sort of moving in these circles that are having this awakening consciousness, returning to this unity consciousness, that we can sometimes forget that there is a lot going on outside of these, these communities and these circles. And that's why it's even more important for us to anchor the frequencies that are coming in. If you're watching this, then you're one of those that know. You're one of the volunteers that have put up their hand to be a lighthouse or a beacon for your families and your communities. And that doesn't mean to say preaching about what you think you know or what you think others should be doing. You know, it's really interesting because one of the biggest things around this whole returning, awakening to our divinity and to who we really are, the frequency of that which we really are, which is, it's pure love. I mean, love doesn't even describe it. It doesn't even really touch it, that word. It's just a word, you know, it is pure divinity. It's beyond actually what our mind can conceive. But actually in this place, there is really nothing to be done. There is nothing to be fixed. There is nothing to be healed. There is only a remembering. And we can't ever force that remembering upon another sentient being, because each soul has its purpose and has its timeline for its own journey. But what we can do, and what we're being asked to do, and what we're being called to do, is to practice ourselves into being able to hold this highest frequency that we are, that I am, that you are, that we all are, so that then we kind of emanate that frequency like a tuning fork. And then in that way, the things around us, the people around us, whether they're conscious of it or not, are being uplifted into that frequency. some will naturally resonate away if they're not ready, and that's absolutely fine. But we don't push or force, and we don't lower our frequency by judging, blaming, criticizing, or trying to force anybody or anything into coming along for the ride. It will happen as and when they're ready, because from what I've been shown, there are very, very clear preparation processes, and some of us are moving through those preparation processes more consciously than others, but yes, we are moving through them. You know, we have this thing you've heard me say before, we're like, oh, something big is coming, something big has come. And then we move through it, we receive it, we integrate it, and it becomes normal. And so we always have this sense of something big coming, but it's already happening. We are already moving so fast through these preparation processes. And the more conscious we can be as we move through those processes and understand what is happening, and rather than either projecting outwards or using the mind to try and mentalize or analyze our way through things, then the easier it becomes to fully surrender into that high frequency energy that is already there. That's the thing. It's not on its way. It's not coming. It is already there. It is us who, in our preparation, is preparing to meet it. It hasn't changed, ever. It has always been. It always was. But, you know, through our lifetime on this planet, for one reason or another, we have shut ourselves down and turned away from that which we really are. You know, we were given this incredible gift of divine will, and we needed to kind of be, or we were separated from our true nature as creator to really play with and understand and find our way back, and understand that as the creator that we are, even when we're forgotten our true nature, we are still manifesting. Because if we're turning our attention to the things that to the suffering, to the struggle, to the difficulties, to the traumas, to the tragedies, then by constantly sending our focus in that direction, we move more and more away from the divinity, but we're still creating, we're still manifesting. It's just that we're creating and we're manifesting more of the stuff that is keeping us separate from the truth of who we really are. So this is where we've got to start to become super vigilant and really careful, right, of the mind that wants to continue to keep us in this state of separation, thinking that we can work it out through the analytics of the mind. The mind has a really important part to play, and the mind can't be, and neither should be, dismissed or thrown away, but we have to be able to see it for what it is, right? It's a very, very powerful servant. It's a very, very powerful computer that helps us to get shit done, but it isn't who we are. It isn't the truth of who we are. It is a tool. It's a protective mechanism in many aspects, and it's just been allowed to kind of run rampant. The ego mind has been allowed to take off in too many different directions for too long. And so now is the time for us to, and it has always been the time, really, but we're really getting it now, for us to get some gentle, loving discipline around the mind. Now, when we are in the truest essence of that frequency, the more and more we can touch it and embody it and feel it, and also not have fear of it, because it's coming in big to the planet right now. It's here. It's actually not even coming in. As I said before, it's already here, but it is intensifying. And the intensification of that is kind of calling us home. It's calling us forward. It's accelerating everything. It's fast pace. And so that energy is so high. That frequency, that vibration is so high. I mean, there is really very little on this earth that could even capture it. Maybe some of the AI art that we see, you know, and you see these celestial colors that you can't even describe. It's even beyond that. That doesn't even capture it. And it is intense, and it is a lot. And if you're not prepared and you're not ready, it can really kind of wig you out, you know. But the key to it is really in the surrender. And what are you surrendering to? You know, people have a lot of fear of losing their mind, or of, you know, becoming out of their body and not being able to get back. But if you can keep reminding yourself when it comes that this is nothing outside of you, this is you. This is your beauty. This is your essence. Do you understand? It's like, it is creation. You are the creator. Your essence is creation. How can there be anything to be afraid of when it's your essence? If you can surrender into the sensation, surrender into the beauty, and just give yourself permission to let go of the fear and understand that the fear is only arising from the control mechanism of the mind that has been trained into being afraid of being in its true essence. It's been controlled and manipulated from outer sources into believing that it isn't safe to be in your true essence, when the opposite is true. Nothing could be safer. Nothing could be safer. So much is going on. Your DNA is being recalibrated completely. Every single cell of your being is being activated, and there is a memory that you didn't even know you had that is being remembered. And the support and the love that is here for you, the backing and the guidance that is here for you, they have been waiting for you to return so that they can initiate you into this lineage of light. There is only one lineage. They told me, nothing, you can forget everything else. There is only one. And this lineage of light carries and is, not carries, it is the universal codes of divinity, and every lineage that ever arose is like a faction of that one lineage of light. So as this super high frequency energy is being, we are meeting it. I'm not even going to say that it's arriving to us, because it's already there. But as we are finally opening ourselves to allow it and to meet it without, you know, so much resistance, then the energy has a very specific, direct, incredible intelligence. And that intelligence will seek out anything in the body, in the physical body, in the emotional body, in the psychological processes. It'll seek out anything that has a density to it, so that it can transform it, so that it can alchemize it and illuminate it. So the frequency is coming through us to be able to do that. So we are self-healing, but it's not us doing it. It's not the ego, me. It's not the Gemma going in and healing the body or transforming the whatever. It's the divinity, the masters, the consciousness, the pure consciousness that is arriving through us and directing us where we need to take our attention, and it's kind of send that frequency, guide it, direct it. For me, it is very much, you know, working with my hands, but the energy that comes through It's not, it's mine because I am that, and I am, but it's not mine as the ego Gemma me, right? So it can be very uncomfortable. And what happens with us humans when we face any kind of discomfort in any way, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, either the mind's going bananas, the monkey mind's taking off, or we're in a big emotional process, or we're in a big physical process, our tendency is to look for things outside to be causing that. And sure, there may be some very physical things that are going on. Example, right now, in this moment, as I'm sharing with you, I have a lot of pain in my belly. And there's two things happening. One, there's a massive integration process that's going on. And one of the journeys that I had was really, really huge, with a lot of physical discomfort down this left side. And Apu Waskaran and his Nusta, his wife, Nusta one day, they came in as these guardians, as these Yanantins, the most remarkable healers I've ever seen, and directed me how to shift and how to move that. It was not comfortable, but I was aware that even though there was a snippet of the mind that was going, oh, could it have been the thing that I ate, or could it have been the da-da-da? No, it wasn't. It's not that. I moved the energy and it was gone. So right now, for sure, there's a little bit of, I ate a little something that's, so there's that process that's happening on the physical that you're taking care of, but it's still only sensation. And we humans, we feel, whether you realize it or not, and most of the time this is largely unconscious, that we have to create density to be grounded. Isn't that crazy? Having a physical body is actually enough. It's more than enough density to keep us grounded, to keep our essence and our soul and our spirit anchored to Pachamama. That's why we chose to come through in the body. But somewhere along the line, through our fear of meeting fully and surrendering completely to our divinity, we were tricked, or we thought that we had to create more density in the body, in the processes, in the experiences that we have, in an effort to keep us grounded. Even things we ingest, to cut through that high frequency and to keep us grounded, but we don't actually need to do it. It's only a part of the human process. And so when the density arises, whether it be physical, pain, whether it be an emotional process, a psychological process, you can move through the density and the discomfort of that. At the same time, you are holding, staying aware of, is probably an even better way of putting it, of the true frequency that you are, of the high frequency that you are, and know that that epic high frequency of energy is what is illuminating or intensifying the feeling of the density. Why? Because it's alchemizing it. It's bringing it to the surface. It's bringing it to the light. So even if there is a very physical process that's because of something, there is also an opportunity for healing and some stagnant energy in that, where in this lifetime or any other, or through ancestral lines, has become lodged. The energy has become lodged somewhere in the physical body, and it hasn't yet been completely transformed, alchemized, dispersed. And so this high frequency energy intensifies that sensation. So what we're really being asked is to practice ourselves into holding that high frequency. So we need to practice in terms of a daily practice, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Something, whether it be meditation or breath work, that you can, even just for a short space of time, say to the mind, this is not your time. This is time for me to be in the frequency. This is the time for me to be in the energy, to practice touching and remembering and anchoring in the pure consciousness that I am. Normal for the mind to be all over the place. I'm going to record a practice for you, but what I would suggest is finding a mantra of some kind even just use the word light. And as you sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and you follow your breath, you repeat the mantra, light, light, light. The mind is going to go off and it's going to wander. As soon as you realize that, catch yourself. Whoops, there I go. Try not to go into the story. Come back. Light, light, light. The reason I say that word is because, especially if you're English speaking, you could translate it into the word of your nationality, whatever your language is. But it has a feeling, doesn't it? When you say the word light, it's like you feel the frequency or the vibration of what that word carries. Even though the words don't matter, it has an energetic imprint. It has a frequency signature. So by saying that and just catching yourself and using that word light as an anchor point to come back, what will probably happen eventually over time, don't go looking for it, but it will happen, you might start to notice that you hear a hum or like a frequency above all of the other sounds, you know, that you might be hearing around. Could be cars and traffic if you're in the city, could be hummingbirds like it is here if you're in the Sacred Valley or somewhere in the garden. But there is a sound that goes above that. That's it. That's where it is. So eventually we were saying light, 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 and then we can drop the word light and just focus on that sound. The mind will wander again, you use your mantra again, until you can focus on the sound. If you can do that for 5 or 10 minutes a day, and I also like to do 10 minutes of some really beautiful rhythmic breathing with some breath hold, so simply breathing in and breathing out, and you can just breathe in and breathe out light. For me, that is a pretty non-negotiable practice at the moment, because I need to remember, I want to remember, I made the commitment to remember in these temples that which I am. And then the second part to that is every time we judge, we blame, we criticize, we complain, we've dropped ourselves out, we've taken a step back from being in that frequency. And that's also okay. It's part of being human, and a part of this is to have the compassion for yourself when you do step back. It's fine. But as the masters that you are at the point where you got to use a bit of spiritual muscle, right? So you need to look during your daily life where your thoughts, your words, your actions are not in alignment with this highest frequency that you are, that is here for you, that is calling you forward to not dissolve. You know, I know that there's, and for me also, there has for many years been, oh my God, I'm dissolving into this. It's not, they showed me, it's not a dissolving, it's a becoming, it's a returning. You're not dissolving into anything. You are actually reclaiming opposite. It's not going out, it's coming in. You are reclaiming your place as creator. Really. And it's like you might only just touch it for a second, because that might be all you can handle until the physical body recalibrates, and then they'll give you more. And then the body recalibrates, the mind recalibrates, the emotions recalibrate, they give you more. You see? So we always think that there's more coming. We always think something big's coming because we're always receiving it. We're recalibrating it, and then we're moving into the next level of it, until eventually we are going to be walking between the worlds. We will be fully embodied interdimensional beings that are 100% aware in our full pure consciousness, in our fully awakened state, knowing our oneness with all things. You know, in one of these journeys, I watched myself die. I watched my physical body return to the earth. It went back to the crystal, it went back to the rock, it went back to the water, it went back to the earth, yeah? But guess what? The frequency, my frequency didn't change, not one bit. If anything, as the physical body returned to the earth, the frequency got even higher. Incredible. And then I watched myself be reborn, but reformed again, renewed, from the earth, from the crystal, from the rock, and the physical body, woof, came back, but the frequency didn't change. So this is the awareness that we are really being called to anchor, and to practice anchoring it, to practice holding it, to practice ourselves into it, just like you would have to practice playing a song on the guitar, or singing, or a language, or anything, a dance routine, anything that you want to learn. It takes practice, right? So that's my message for you from these great masters. There will be more that comes through, but for now, trust you, trust the energy, trust the medicine, because it's not outside of you. It's you reclaiming your divinity. There is nothing to be afraid of, nothing, even when it feels tough. Be with the sensation of the difficulty, because that is preparing you for more than your beautiful mind could ever even conceive. It's all here for you. None of it belongs to us, but it's all here for us. This is yours. This is your time. So receive it. Break the glass ceiling on how much you can receive. Enjoy it. And even enjoy the density. Know that that's all a part of the divine process that you chose, and that you're choosing more than ever now as you return to the center of creation as the creator. Okay? Bye for now. Lots of love.